You know, it's incredible. We spend 3 years making these movies in a building in Burbank, California, and then one day you have to release it to the world and you hope that they're going to like it, but you never really know. So to get that kind of immediate feedback and have this kind of a weekend means so much to us. It's so awesome. I mean, we were so fortunate to get to work again with our great cast, with John C. Reilly and Sarah Silverman, who are both here tonight to celebrate with us, as well as new cast members, including Gal Gadot, who will be here soon, who plays the character of Shank. So to really get the whole team back together was one of the highlights of making a second story here with Ralph and Vanellope. You know, it was interesting when the idea first got pitched of what if Ralph and Vanellope went into the internet. It seemed like such an obvious choice and such a great idea. The world's so big and expansive, and we could try and do it in the world of animation. But then you start to realize it's going to be huge, and it needs to be, because that's what the internet is. If we make it really small, it won't feel like the internet that you and I use. So you kind of realize as we're going to make this endeavor that we're going to have to go to extremes we've never been before. And so it is the biggest Disney animated film ever. She's such a great character, Shank is, and Gal brings such an incredible warmth to the character, and it's really critical because she is going to become kind of this big sister character to Vanellope, and there's just something about her delivery that's very emotional. She's probably the most philosophical character in the film, and I think audiences are just going to love her. You know, it's so much fun. When we were going into the world of the internet, we said to ourselves we could kind of go anywhere, so wouldn't it be funny if, you know, Vanellope actually met the Disney princesses. She's technically a princess. That seemed like a great idea for comedy for us. And then as the story evolved, we realized, well, they could actually be a key element for her overall arc, which is that she's ultimately going to fall in love with the world of the internet. So maybe she has a different destiny that she's never thought about. And who better to tell her about that idea of how do you find your destiny than the Disney princesses. So we got to have fun with them, but then we also get to have fun with Marvel characters and Pixar characters and Lucasfilm, Star Wars characters. So it really is this kind of a mashup that we had never anticipated, but now that we've created, we've really enjoyed. Yeah, you know, it's interesting. As we embarked on the story, we said to ourselves, we want to make this be really, really deep and heartfelt. And, you know, if you're going to make a second story with these characters, you got to really move the audience to make it worth us actually telling a second story. And so the key was saying, well, what if these two individuals left the small town of the arcade, they go to the big world of the internet, and one falls in love with it, and the other one just wants to go home? That's going to become a wedge in their friendship. That's what the internet becomes. And ultimately, it's about Ralph having to let go, and these two best friends having to realize they'll still be friends even if they're not living in the same location. So for us, that felt very emotional. It's sort of like parents who have to let their kids go away to university. It's the hardest thing you have to do, but you need to do it to let them grow and become themselves.